Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ariana Manise.
I'm Dan Kennedy. Great to be with you here on 11 Alive Plus, bringing you coverage of the No Kings protest happening today in Atlanta and all across the country.
Yeah, that's right. All across 50 states, millions are taking to the streets for the No Kings protest, a demonstration happening in all 50 states across the country, including right here in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, demonstrators trying to get their message across that there are no kings in America. Let's take a live look from our chopper right now, giving us aerial views from the crowd in Atlanta. They started gathering there at the Atlantic Civic Center earlier this morning. Things officially kicking off around 10 o'clock this morning, and this particular event set to last until 1 o'clock this afternoon. They have a podium set up there before a crowd of what looks to be at least 1,000 people or so, though we expect to get some solid estimates a little later today. And then closer to 1 o'clock, we're told that they're going to be marching from the Civic Center about 1.5 miles to the Georgia State Capitol, where they will continue to get their message across.
Yeah, and we saw the situation play out over the summer. Back in June, we saw a very similar No Kings protest, and today they're hoping that this is one of the larger demonstrations that takes place, and millions are expected across the country to also participate in No Kings protests. According to the group's website, at least 2,500 registered locations are happening. Back in June, there were about 2,000 locations also participating. And also, most of the return of this protest, the group says, is due to the Trump administration sending mass agents into the streets at U.S. cities across the country that they say is terrorizing these communities.
We do have a reporter there live on the ground. We'll be checking in with Stefanich Haynock throughout the morning to tell us what organizers and protesters are saying as they try to get their message out. By the way, these protests planned across Georgia and the country this weekend.
Yeah, and we're going to go to 11 Alive Stefanich Haynock. She is live at the rally in Metro Atlanta happening at the Civic Center. Steph, the demonstration started at 10 a.m. this morning. We saw people showing up bright and early. It's been underway for at least 30 minutes so far. What is the scene at the current moment?
Yeah, so Ariana, Dan, let me go ahead and show you what is happening here right now at the Atlanta Civic Center. A sea of protesters here and more people still arriving as they're walking through this front gate just behind us. And there's a lot of signs. There's a No Kings stage and there's people speaking right now. They say there's also going to be music. And this is where the demonstration is starting from 10 to 1 p.m. at the Civic Center. And then crowds here will be marching to the state capitol. We know that the protest is organized by the ACLU. We spoke to members of the ACLU here in Georgia this morning, and they say that they have a clear message that the people hold the power, not government leaders and not the Trump administration. We've also spoken to a few protesters out here this morning with their signs, their T-shirts, their hats, and they are saying the same thing. One person we spoke to says he's very unhappy with immigration policies right now. Another man, his face was painted red, white, and blue. He tells us that all he wants is the government he grew up with, and he says that is not the government he sees today. And we do want to mention that this is a non-violent, peaceful protest. Organizers tell me they are hoping it stays that way, Dan and Ariana, but if it doesn't, they do have 50 medics that are volunteering today, as well as a group of volunteer safety people. They say that they have been trained on de-escalation if it gets to that point.
And Seth, throughout the week, their message has always been this is a non-violent protest. Earlier in the morning, I saw you had the chance to speak with some of the safety organizers. Kind of break down what's their plan for today to ensure that this is focused on their message and not conflict.
Well, the lead of the safety team here, he tells me that they've been trained for hours on how to de-escalate situations, but like their approach, he said, is just to use their words and to promote kindness. He did say that back in June at the last No Kings protest, there were some counter protesters that arrived, including the Proud Boys. And so they say they have been trained and they are prepared just in case they have more counter protesters today. But again, they are hoping that things remain nonviolent. Also, the organizer today telling me that this is a very uplifting event. Like I said, the stage behind me, they're going to have some speakers, but also music. And so everyone I've spoken to are hoping for the same thing. Also, the lead of the medic volunteers said that what they're anticipating is maybe stepping in for dehydration, maybe some effects of heat, maybe some people possibly tripping at some point during the protest or maybe the march, but they're not anticipating anything more than that, guys.
And Seth, kind of walk me through some of the participants. I see people of all ages, all generation behind us. Really goes into what you were saying. It's about peace, it's about kindness, it's about community.
Yeah, so the organizers made it very clear that everyone here that is helping out with the event today, the No Kings protest, they are all volunteers. No one is getting a check today. The lead of the safety group of volunteers, he tells me that everyone is ready to be out, protect others, and stand up for what they all believe in, even if that means putting themselves in harm's way. And so that definitely is amazing to see. They say that today is about bringing people together. We're seeing older generations, we're seeing younger generations of Americans, and a group that I actually spoke to, 3 people, they told me they wanted to make it clear that they are pro-America, but they are not pro-Trump. And so they say today's all about democracy, and we can see the large crowd now gathered towards the stage here. And we're going to just keep talking to people out here this morning who are spending their Saturday here, voicing their opinions and their rights.
Yeah, that's right, Seth. And you see that as you were speaking, we saw young kids, we saw older Americans walking through and really participating in today's demonstration. That right there you see is the shot of the stage that Seth was speaking about. We know there will be a number of speakers taking to that stage. She mentioned there will also be music. They're going to take to that stage and then start the process of walking to the Capitol. So, Seth, right now it seems like the demonstration is just concentrated at the Civic Center at the current moment, right, Seth?
Yeah, that's right. So the gates opened before 10 a.m. The stage speakers began at 10. Now we're starting to hear some music. We're seeing flags, people getting very hyped up. But this is until 1 p.m. And then organizers say they will all start to form right here out on the street and then march to the state capitol. So this is happening very early all through the afternoon. And this is something that they were handing out at the front gate. It says in bold, reminder, this is a peaceful demonstration. It says, do not fall for the trap. We also know ACLU had posted on their Facebook page a screen grab of what every American rights are. And they said to maybe save that as a lock screen on your cell phone, just in case things get a little rowdy and maybe you are approached by a police officer or even ICE here today, that you can show them what you have the right to do here during today's demonstration, guys.